Alright you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to sit down and do a little bit of personal explanation on why I chose to homeschool my kids for the upcoming year. Before we get into it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, it helps me pop up in the news feed, and don't forget to follow my Instagram, which I'll link below, AdrianaFaye_. Alright, let's get right into it. So, for the upcoming school year, we decided to homeschool the kids. I actually have been wanting to homeschool for probably a good 2.5, probably 3 years now. If you are my friend on Facebook, then you know that I actually tried to homeschool my oldest, Liliana, 2 years ago in Washington with K-12, and it did not go how I thought it was going to go. K-12 is essentially public school online. It became extremely overwhelming for not just her, but for me. The daily assignments started to just stack on, and it moved too fast. It was not engaging. I would say it was more boring than brick and mortar school. Okay? That's the gist of it. The teacher that they had assigned to her was unengaging, had no answers to my question, and that's just my personal experience with K-12. I'm sure there's other people who enjoy and love K-12. It just wasn't for us. So that's that. So I wanted to share my personal objective, which I think is really important when you're going into homeschooling, is to know your why. Why are you pulling your kids out of school? Why are you not sending them to school initially? What is it that you want to get out of it and your kids want to get out of it? So I wrote this objective down on a piece of mail 2 years ago, and I was cleaning my desk out about 2 weeks ago, and I think I threw it away. But I had it up here in my head. It's not word for word, but I wanted to share with you guys my reasons. So my homeschool objective is to create an environment that inspires creativity, confidence, and a passion for learning, giving my children a safe place to learn and be themselves. I feel this was very important for me because each child learns differently, and when we go to school, our children can be labeled problem children. They don't want to learn, maybe they have a disability, because most of them are bored. They sit and do worksheets, and I'm sure there are great teachers who don't just do that, but my oldest schooling experience just hasn't been pleasant. So that's what I wanted to create here in our homeschool, and that we've been focused on. So, here are my reasons for each child why I decided to do homeschool. So with Liliana, who will be entering what traditional school would consider the 5th grade, she's 10 now, she's had pretty much bad teacher experiences every single year. I don't want to get into depth on what those experiences were. Let's just say that some teachers admittedly said that they just didn't have time for the students. They were focused on their own degrees in 1 grade. We've had teachers who have decided to take pictures of my child and send them to us, belittling her and making her feel very uncomfortable. She is also just being left behind. When her confidence is down, she gives up, and at that point, because there's not enough teacher for students, they just move on and move to the child who does understand. And she just has been left behind tremendously. She's bored. She doodles on her papers and things like that. That was one of the reasons why the teacher decided to take a picture of her. She's bored. She was also bullied at school for her haircut. She cut her hair off last year, in the beginning of the year. And ever since, in Washington and in here, Virginia, people have called her a little boy and made her feel uncomfortable. She, at one point during the school year here in Virginia, was being bullied by 4 boys at one time, which had to be addressed multiple times. And it just became overwhelming for her to the point where she was writing it down in her diary. I just don't agree with it. So, yeah, not enough one-on-one time. Once her confidence slipped, her behavior slipped, not in a disrespectful manner, but in a so nonchalant, not caring manner. And when her behavior slipped, her grades slipped. She was really excited when we came here to start school. She had A's and B's, and those eventually slipped down once the bullying and just the nonchalantness of the teachers started to occur. So the final straw when I knew I was going to not send them to school next year before the whole coronavirus quarantine is when they did a slavery unit. And she came home and she told me that they were basically told that slavery was because the other group of people were lazy, so they went and got slaves. And then they were taken to different places where how do I put this? What the other people had was great and grand, that they had all of these things. And I knew at that point that that wasn't going to be good enough for me or my children. I felt that it was unacceptable to glorify something that was earned off the backs of other people. So that is Liliana's journey. Xavier's journey, he's my second oldest, and he will be entering first grade. His journey is a little different. He was always advanced in basically any subject that he worked on. He was already doing first grade math in preschool. So when he came here to Virginia and I spoke with the teacher, I explained to her these things, and the office told me about the gifted program. He needed to be evaluated and tested into the gifted program. A few weeks into school, the teacher had already made up in her mind that he was very advanced, but not advanced enough for the gifted program. To put this in perspective for you, the test score that my son needed to be at for kindergarten, to be at the baseline where they want all kindergarteners at, is a 21, and his score was a 69. So when I saw that, I continued to bring it up to her. When his evaluation was complete for between me, the teacher, the gifted program like administrator, and another person at the school, he was given a 15 out of 15 by everyone except for said teacher, who gave him a 5 out of 15. And because of her, he missed the gifted program by 1 point. He scored an 85 instead of an 86 for the gifted program, which is separate from the previous test scores. I was completely flabbergasted, that's all I can say. And I just realized that I had a child who was behind, and I had a child who was going to end up being slowed down and bored and end up in the same situation if I didn't remove them from that. So we decided to take them out. I talked about this with my husband. My husband was completely on board, and that's what was really important, is for us to be on the same page and for him to participate. And when he's home, he does participate and help me with the children. So I just wanted to give my children the ability to learn at their own pace in their own way, and no distractions from the school pressures, of their peers or being influenced by other peers and their behaviors, because I saw some of those things coming home from the both of them. I also didn't want a stranger pushing their beliefs onto my children, which was also happening. That's what I mean about the confidence thing. I had initially intended on showing you some of the work where when my daughter received an A and missed one problem, the teacher still wrote negative comments all over her papers. But I'm just gonna keep that to myself. And I felt as though, she was being bullied by the teachers at this point. Now I want to talk to you about why I was scared to homeschool. My questions to myself, which I wrote them down for you guys, were, will my kids learn from me? Will I be stressed out? What do I teach them? There's so many curriculums out there. How do I schedule out a day with 4 children, and now I'm pregnant with number 5? and being there for my husband at the same time and myself. How will I feel about school? Like, how am I going to feel? Am I going to be depressed? Is this going to bog me down? I mean, I just didn't know. Can I do it? I wrote this with all exclamation points. Can I do it? And am I capable of doing this? And what will others think? I at times will find myself concerned about what our families would think about us not having our children in school, and I realized that this just didn't really matter. These are our kids. This is our choice, and we know our children better than anybody. Everybody only gets a glimpse of them, and I had to let that go. And at the end of the day, I realized that I'm grateful for what the quarantine has given me. It gave me the opportunity to dig deeper into what was going on with my kids, what was missing, what we needed. And I wouldn't have taken the steps as soon, I don't believe, if I didn't have it, because I gained the time back with my family that I lost. I know I see a lot of people out there who are just so bogged down and so unhappy about quarantine and being locked up in the house, but it gave me the opportunity to have that time back with my family that I was losing. My husband being gone from 5 in the morning to 6 at night, and my kids being gone from, once they get on the bus, 6:30 until 3 o'clock, and we're all back in the same circle again every single day. So I'm just grateful, and I hope to share our homeschool journey with you guys. I would love to share our curriculum, love to share our homeschool days, some of our field trips. I have so many plans to do all of that. And I hope that this helps inspire and help someone else take their children out of a situation just because you think it's the traditional thing to do. You may feel like you don't have time. Homeschool isn't all day. They don't have to school for 8 hours. You don't have to teach them, this curriculum that you don't believe in. You can teach them and they can learn what they want to learn. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to see any specific type of videos that surround homeschool, I am so willing to do that. If you guys want to get started, I would go to the website that I'm going to link down below. It's the HSLDA website, and it lists everything that you need to know per state. So you're going to click on your state, you're going to find out your laws, and you're going to start there. Another place that you can go is Facebook and join some local Facebook groups in your area. Sorry guys, my camera automatically stopped recording. It always does that. But join some local Facebook groups. Those women and men are there to help you along your journey and figure out what it is that you need to do to get started. The curriculum and all of that stuff, that comes out after. Don't worry about that yet. Make your decision, figure out what you want to do, and then take those steps to get your homeschool started. After that, deschooling is a whole nother thing. Deschooling, summer school, units, all these other things come after the fact. And I am more than willing to share with you what we're doing with our children to get our jump start on homeschooling. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram where I share our vegan life, our food recipes, and I will be sharing homeschool content very soon. My Instagram again is AdrianaFaye_. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.